Hello, good morning, YGG community. How is everybody doing? Can I get some GMs in the chat if everything is going good? Our boy John KM NXS is streaming into Discord there, so let's get some GMs in chat. Seeing my boy Real Coney here in Twitch hanging out. And I'm loving it. We're good to go. We're good to go. So we have our Q4 community update as always. So let me bring on all of our speakers, guests from the core team today who will be giving their updates. We've got Leia from Emphasis, Andy, Gabby, Sam, and Makiko. How you guys doing? Good morning. Good evening.
Hello there.
Good morning.
GM.
Yes. Busy time. Busy time. Let me pop up our slides for the presentation as well.
How many of these have we done? We've done like 4 years worth of these.
4 years worth, that's right. And one every quarter. It's been a journey and it's still going. Lots to do, lots to update. This has been a very busy quarter for us with many launches and some TGs as well. So let's dive right into it. And Gabby, you are going to be diving right into Launchpad updates. So take it away, my man.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Q4 community update. So we talk about what happened in the fourth quarter of 2025. So not so much the news early 2026. We will cover that in the next update. So first, we did launch the YGG Play Launchpad last October. We had a super busy fourth quarter. We launched our second game, Giga Chadbat. We launched the Launchpad. We launched the LOL token. So now we are live at yggplay.fun. So you're there. You can discover the YGG Play quests. There are quests that you can do to earn points to assign to the Launchpad. There's boosts so that you can get additional points earning. The quest card, if you've played our quest in Gap, it's similar to that, but it goes towards a Launchpad allocation. And we've been interviewing a bunch of you guys in the Discord for how we can improve the Launchpad. And some of the improvements that are coming are user profiles, leaderboard in tournaments, quest badges, FAQs, and more.
Yeah, very busy. And speaking of TGEs, the Chad token is right in TGA, and we are past 100%. We are past
100% contribution. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think we're sitting at 126% right now. I checked this morning right before the stream. So people can still allocate and contribute, right?
Yeah, people have around I think 10 hours to contribute.
So there you go, guys. If you haven't got in, just because we're at 100% doesn't mean it is over. You've got less than 10 hours, so go ahead. Continuing that, we are diving right into Lowland updates, Gabby.
Yep, so Lowland, if you guys remember, was the first game of YGG Play. We released it in May, which was just 7 months ago. It feels like so long now. And here are some updates. So Lowland has now reached $8.4 million lifetime revenue. Again, that's just in around 7 months. We released a partner board with our friends at Roach Racing. So that one just happened a couple of weeks ago. We're continuing to do live ops, bonus bounties, point strike, lucky roll, and more. So there's a lot going on. People love the game, and we're continuing to develop it. And along with our partner, the Hyperreal dev team, we're continuing to innovate for more features that people like to play for Lowland.
Yeah, I've talked a little bit about the Lowland team, or talked to them, and there's some talks about some bigger updates, but we can't really leak at this time. But there's something more than a little bit of boards coming. Yeah.
Still
But that's
more.
all we're gonna tease. That's all we're gonna tease for now. Okay, perfect. We're just blazing through here, and I believe Sam, you're gonna take over the GCB update. So let me swap out you for Gabby. There we go. So Sam, what's going on with GCB?
Okay, thank you, Fallen. So for Giga Chadbat, since we launched it a bit later last year, we've gotten over $400,000 in revenue. And as of December, we had around 1,400 monthly active users and almost 4,000 total users for the game. We've launched a few new features, such as the Chat Pass in January. So this is a game pass that gives you balls and bats in the game for 30 days. So it's a good deal if you like logging in and playing Giga Chadbat every day. We also just recently concluded the Chad raid with the Bearish IP. I think players can expect more collabs with other games and projects this year for our monthly Chad raid events. And as for what's next, following the Chad DGE, which is happening very soon, stakers can look forward to an exclusive staking only DGen mode in the game that's launching later this month. So that's going to be exciting. Let's go to the next slide so we can also talk about the Chad token launch. So as we were talking about earlier, it's happening very soon. We only have a couple of hours left until the contribution period ends. The starting FTV for the token is 500,000 USD, with a total supply of 5 billion. Uh, so there are three ways that you can get Chad tokens. The first is, of course, by participating in the YGG Play Launchpad. As Fallen mentioned earlier, we already reached 100% of the target. The second way is if you have participated in the Play to Airdrop season that happened in the game. It ended in February 3. And 5% of the total tokens are going to be distributed to the top 150 players for season 1. And obviously, once the token launches, the third way is you'll be able to trade the token on DEXs. Yeah, back to you, Fallen.
Perfect. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, it pays to play, right? If you're in those leaderboards, we are rewarding the people that are participating, that are competing, right? So there's going to be many ways to participate and get a hold of the token, just like with Lowland. So, again, you've got less than 10 hours if you want to contribute your points and your tokens, and if not, you can look forward to other ways. Now, on to a little bit more about YGG Play. Sam, I'm going to pull you back, and I'm going to grab Makiko. So let's swap them around here again, and let's pop on to the next slide. Makiko, it's all you. What's going on with YGG Play?
Thanks, Fallen. So we're all speaking about the same thing today. Very exciting. We have 10 more hours left on that token launch. So here's that very specific deadline. Get it in before midnight UTC. So translate that to whatever time zone you're watching in from today. We have some new games on the platform. You'll notice Roach Race, Waifu Sweeper, and Proof of Play Arcade. We're continually bringing on new partners, new games, and even with new quests within the games that we already have. So there's always a reason to come back, even in between token launches. Again, we are continuing to get feedback from you guys. Thank you so much to everyone who has participated already. We'll be running these feedback sessions every quarter, so you'll have seen a request for your participation in a survey and or participation in one-on-one feedback sessions. All of these are either directly compensated or you'll be entered into a raffle compensated with YGG. So thank you so much for all your feedback. We really want to build this together with you and make sure this is the experience that you all want. Let's go to the next slide. Fantastic. So just some high-level metrics that we're seeing. So this is as of the last day of December, so Q4 2025. We're at over 8 million in revenue to date. I think excitingly, over half of that was just in Q4. So really picking up steam in Q4 there. exciting to see that 96% of our revenue are from whales. So thank you so much to all of you out there who are participating in that way. And so you can see those average revenue per user numbers down there too. So really exciting momentum. Thank you all for being a part of it. I'll pass it back over to you, Fallen.
Perfect. Thank you, Makiko. Yeah, another big quarter with big numbers. It seems like YGG Play is doing its job. It's making some good money. Again, all thanks to the hard work of the core team and our community participating. So next, we are going to be moving on to a YGG Play events and community, not community programming quite yet, but Buybacks, and Leia from Emphasis is going to be giving us all the deets. Leia, happy you could join us.
Hello, thanks for having me. Before I get on to the buybacks, I just want to share a little bit about what's been happening with events, because we have had so many events over the last quarter, and we actually have some coming up in the next week as well. But firstly, as you can see, we were at Token 2049 in Singapore. I don't know if anyone in the Discord chat was there or if they actually experienced it, but it was a vibe. So YGG set up at the sidelines of Token 2049, which is obviously the most important event in the whole region, if you're based in Southeast Asia, for the whole year. And I think it was like 3 days. So they were hosting meetings there and having like really important conversations with all the key people who had traveled to Singapore for that week. But then they also had a happy hour, which is obviously like the most fun for those kind of events. But it was really great. It was like, as you can see there in the photos, it was amazingly branded. That's actually YP and Heidi from Pixels hanging out with Gabs. Everyone who was anyone was at that side event. So it was a really great few days. And then in December, Gabby, Sam, and Fee went off to Dubai for Binance Blockchain Week. This is a very, very important event on the crypto calendar, obviously incredibly high caliber, and very important to note that Gabby was actually invited to speak there. As you can see, he was on a very important panel around in-game economies. But yeah, being able to actually be on the stage at an event like this is really like creme de la creme of crypto events. But YGG Play had a booth as well. You can see Fee there. He was absolutely rocking it. Really great to be in places like this so that we can share crypto degen, casual degen games with these kind of Binance communities, because that's really where we're going to find all of our players. So that was a very important week. And Art Basel. So I think this is actually really cool, because like this is kind of where you find your NFT flippers, like OG kind of NFT traders from back in 2021 who were getting in on the scene when they were very excited about PFPs and stuff. Like there's still a really strong community of those kind of people at Art Basel. And this year at Miami Beach, YGG Play was actually debuting Waifu Sweeper. So Dub was doing like a live stream that went on for quite some time as well. Like people were super excited because he couldn't actually play the game yet. So this was kind of the first introduction to the game, really hyping people up and getting them super excited. As most of you would know, the game is actually playable now. So make sure that you get down to YGG Play and check it out. But this event in December, which is obviously very, very high profile all across the globe, was the first taste that anyone got of Waifu Sweeper. So yeah, it was a really, really massive quarter for very, very high profile crypto events. And yeah, just quickly, if anyone's going to be in Hong Kong next week for a consensus, there is a YGG event on the 10th. We might come back to that a little bit later, but just want to alpha leak that very quickly.
Perfect. Yeah, as Kuya says, market might be down, but YGG keeps building, and there's always lots of events to go. So
yeah, the market might be down, but I kind of feel like everyone loves these events because we always hear from people when they turn up. It's like, you know, you might be on crypto Twitter or like checking CoinGecko or Binance every second, but you turn up to these kind of things and it just feels like more alive than ever. Like, I don't know. There's something about being able to connect with your people at these kind of events, and it reminds you like why you got into this in the first place.
100%. Okay, let's move on to buybacks. We teased a little bit about that. So, Leia, what are we looking at here in terms of numbers?
Yeah, so I won't go into depth in terms of the numbers. Like the key thing that I wanted to highlight here is that in total, YGG has now bought back $3.7 million worth of its own token, which is huge. What that really signals is confidence in this project. And I think the key thing to point out here is that you can't actually do that unless the business is actually generating revenue. So this has been where we're seeing the success of YGG Play. Obviously, we've only known YGG Play since May of 2025. Keep that in mind. So it's been a pretty short time span, but it's been incredibly successful to date, and we're seeing that success funnel straight back into the YGG core business through these buybacks. So, I think that's a really exciting signal to kind of look at in terms of trajectory of YGG into 2026 as well.
100%. Yeah, I guess we can always go back to that idea. When you see big stock companies like Apple or Microsoft or anyone like that doing buybacks, it's always a signal that they're committed. They're committed to the product. They're committed to their own company. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff, right? So here
And
at
you can't do that kind of thing if it's not preceded by success. So yeah,
yes,
you're exactly right, Bolin. Yeah,
it's a cycle.
absolutely.
So I would imagine we'll continue to see things like this. I'm sure Gabby will talk a little bit about this, maybe in our AMA section. But we're going to move on. Thank you again, Leia. We'll hear from you in the AMA section. We're going to move on to our community programs tab, which I know a lot of people in the chat hold very close to their hearts. So Sam, bringing it back up, trading with Leia here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Fallen. So for community programs, we have a lot in store in Q1 and for the rest of the year. So some things to look forward to are, first of all, the leveling system that is based on the current XP that you've all been earning from doing a lot of the quest content that's on the website right now. Um, so for all of our loyal and still active Gap players, you will also be experiencing the benefits of this leveling system. So we're excited to roll that out for all of our players. Another thing is more guild campaigns that will really highlight our best and most competitive players. They represent their own guilds as well as a unified YGG guild. Another is more quests and activities for the participants of the creator program, which you very well know, being led by Fallen, AC, and Munchies from the core team. And lastly, Metaversity, which is a project powered by YGG Philippines. So we aim to bring skills and learning programs to the global stage with this. So one big thing that's been happening recently is the YGG Global and Philippine teams are kind of discussing together how to improve all of our community programs right now. Moving forward, a lot of the people from the YGG Philippines team will be operating community questing and programs, maintaining strong support from the global team. So it will still be the same community questing you've all enjoyed so far, but expect more streamlined content. So new stuff will include activities and other opportunities outside of Web3 gaming. I think that's one big thing. An example of this is the expansion of the Game Testers program to include other activities like product testing, following a skills session or certification. So those are all things that the PH team has been doing and planning for behind the scenes, and just expect more in store soon that we will be announcing during Q1. So really a lot of things lined up for community programs this quarter.
Yeah, we've got just like everything at YGG, we've got some exciting things cooking, whether it's with the creator program, game testing, or other community events. Shout out to Fea, one of our head moderators. There may be some tavern time coming back for you peeps that love karaoke and showing off your karaoke skills. So be on the lookout for that Q1. Since we're on community right now, before we move on to Treasury with Andy, and is gonna pop this guy here. Did you get your tacos? And don't forget to get your tacos. Okay, on to the next one. Thank you, Sam. And Andy, I am bringing you on stage. Say hi to the community, and let's dive into the Treasury breakdown.
Cool. Thanks, Fallen. Hi, everyone. I'll just run through the Q4 2025 Treasury numbers. So as of December 31st, 2025, YGG's Treasury was valued at 21.5 million, with over 6.1 million held in stablecoins, T-bills, large cap tokens. And this is about 30% of our overall Treasury. And the rest of the Treasury and the remaining 70% is made up of smaller cap, mostly unvested tokens. As Leia was saying, we've had strong revenue performance in ETH, USDC, and USDT, driven mainly by Lowland, and much of the bulk of that was done in Q4 2025, and that continues to add to our Treasury balance. That's it for my update.
Perfect. Yeah, keep it short and sweet. Not much more to say there. Treasury is looking very healthy, and all of the YGG Play products are doing good. Thank you so much, Andy. And the last few slides, we're going to be going over a bunch of very exciting stuff. And Leia, you're gonna be giving us all the updates here. So welcome back on stage, and I will hand the mic to you.
Thank you. Can I see in Discord who showed up at the YGG Play Summit? Were you one of our 5,600 people who showed up in Manila to actually come to the YGG Play Summit? I gotta say, it was a vibe. We had our two sections. We obviously had our stage where we had thought leaders from all over the world. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of hands up here. Yes. This is why the crowd was so good looking. I'm realizing now when I'm looking at everyone in the chat who's like, I was there. I'm like, now I realize why it was so good looking. We had thought leaders fly in from all over the world, the best of the best of Web3 gaming. And I was just utterly enamored with the discussions that were going on the main stage. It was so impressive. But then we also had the booths. We had so much going on in the arena as well in terms of esports competitions. I just think this event just gets better and better every single year. I think what's exciting to note, so it's on this slide, our online reach this year just smashed anything that we'd done before. So kudos to the YGG Filipinas marketing team, because in terms of what they were doing around digital reach, just smashed it. It's amazing. Like nearly 500 million people we reach. It's absolutely incredible. This event is obviously very impactful, and we've always been about making sure that it could be an inclusive space in the metaverse. So I think that's why the digital reach is so important there. Guys, in the chat, what was your favorite experience? Like, was it a side event? Was it a talk that you saw? Was it a specific speaker? Maybe it was like a booth that you went to. I'd love to see if anyone wants to mention their favorite thing at the summit. Actually, is there one of our speakers? Can I call on Sam or Gabby? Do you guys have a highlight from YPS 2025 that you would like to share?
Well, the Game Awards was a lot of fun. I really love seeing the booths as well. The YGG Play booth there was really nice.
Yeah, Game Awards was amazing. I remember some people saying because this was, for anyone who's not aware, this was the second time that we had the Game Awards IRL, their ceremony in Manila. And the first time it came to Manila, people were saying it was like core memories made. Again, like I was saying before, I think especially when the market is not in a good place, it's events like this that really just make your heart feel so full. It's just such an amazing way to be able to connect with the community. And yeah, this was absolutely it. Let's go to the next slide. I think we're going to chat about Lowland, which we also had at YGG Play Summit. So I'm going to chat very briefly about like the 6 episodes that we had of Lowland. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, this is a podcast that YGG Play launched last year, and we've got 6 episodes. I was privileged to host or moderate 5 of them. And if you're interested in the business of game publishing, this is basically like an MBA in that. You will learn everything that you could possibly need to know, and you're going to learn from the best builders across the world. Each episode focuses on a different element of the publishing business to unpack how to do it well from the people who have done it well. So the first one I was going to mention is episode 6, which was our finale, because that actually happened at the YGG Play Summit live on stage with Yellow Panther and Icy. And they were sharing their journey, you know, the good, the bad, the war stories. Obviously, they've been incredibly successful, but it hasn't been an easy path. So they were really unpacking, for the benefit of other content creators, how they could actually build a business in this. Not just make great content, because that's kind of what a lot of people focus on in terms of creating great videos, but how do you actually create a sustainable business with, say, recurring revenue, quality partners in the same way that they've been able to partner with YGG Play, you know, other content creators who are kind of looking at them and going, wow, how do I do that? They really spilled all. So do check it out. All the other episodes, they cover different things. So for example, we looked at things like, how do you actually build community, but specifically in Asia? And we spoke to Pengu Asia, which is the local Pudgy Penguins community, about how they've been so successful in doing that in Asia, which is just like, you know, you'd pay to be able to listen to those kind of conversations, but you can actually just watch it for free on YouTube. Then episode 3 was Gabby in conversation with James, or Junmo Kwan. He's from D Labs, but he has an amazing backstory in terms of building the Korean video game industry. So decades of experience there for you to lap up. Episode 4 was actually Gabby on stage with Luca Netz at Korea Blockchain Week, talking about the success of Pudgy Penguins, and specifically about, like, how do you build a successful IP business? What does that look like? And why are they so focused on games as an onboarding route to be able to bring more people on? And if you're interested in venture capital, how to raise money for a project, or like how do investors think about the market, you're definitely going to want to check out episode 5, because we had investors from Bitcraft and Longhash, which are, you know, literally the best of the best in terms of VCs that are looking at the Web3 gaming space. So go and check that out, because they talked a lot about how they're seeing the future of tokenomics, but even things like speculation, you know, whether that's a good or a bad thing. Spoiler alert, they think it's a great thing. Check it out. It's a really great episode. But Lowland, I can't implore you enough to go and check it out. It's really, really interesting series there. And we might even do a series 2 in the future. If you watch it and you have ideas of what we haven't covered yet, but you'd like to see, let us know, because we can totally consider that when we're looking at doing series 2.
Perfect. On to the next one, the last one, but not the, well, last one for media coverage, but not for the end of the stream. So Leia, what are we looking at? There's a lot going on here.
There's a lot going on here, but this is also just a selection of what's been going on. We get a lot of media coverage of YGG Play, and I'd like to say even more than usual over the last quarter, because we've just been shipping constantly with YGG Play. Like, there's announcements coming out every couple of weeks with like a new partner, a new game, a new quest. Like, there's been so much happening. And we've been hearing back from our journalist friends that they just love that we have so much development happening, and also like not always just like price action. For a lot of crypto journalists, they get, you know, a little bit down in the dumps when the only thing they have to write about is markets. But YGG Play is actually one of the few use cases that they get to talk about, which is doing more than, you know, just looking at prices. They're actually building, actually shipping. So that's super cool. I won't go into depth on all of these, but I will share the links in the chat after this so that you can go and read the things yourself. The ones that I would point you to is the Masari report. Definitely. If you are not familiar with Masari, they are a leading provider of crypto market intelligence. So this is a place where you go if you want to get like data analytics research. It's something that investors, researchers, journalists, venture capitalists, professionals would use this kind of platform to analyze the market and figure out where they should be allocating their money. It's very, very well respected, and they did a deep dive report on not just YGG, but specifically YGG Play. This focus on Web3 game publishing, establishing the casual DJing category, and why this is so important and why it's such an exciting thing to do right now. What they did was like really dig into like, how has YGG Play been so successful? That big figure in terms of like the revenue that this particular business unit is churning out is just something that you don't see anywhere else in the Web3 gaming landscape. So Masari kind of wanted to explain to its investor readers, like, why has YGG Play been so successful? Here, read this report and you'll figure it out. So check it out. It's a really, really good one. The Games GG article is really fun as well. That was an interview with Gabby, and he's kind of explaining what is the thesis behind establishing this casual DJing category. I'm sure you guys don't need to read it because you're all casual DJs in the chat right now. I mean, you guys could write the thesis on casual DJing, but it's basically an ode to you guys. So check it out and please help us share and amplify it. And also the one down here, I'll just like point out this podcast, this one where it says how YGG quietly built a profitable Web3 game in 90 days. So this one was a fun one. Gabby recorded this podcast with Toby and Brent when we were in Bali for CoinFest Asia. And these guys, Toby and Brent, their company is called The Best Event. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it's called, but they really do host the best events at every crypto conference. Like, they'll, hire out the best nightclub and they'll have like hundreds, maybe thousands of people at super VIP. They're very, very well networked people, and they couldn't be more excited to have been interviewing Gabby in Bali. So check it out. It's a very high profile appearance and super fun podcast.
Yeah, and shout outs to the YGG Play Summit champion for Parallel there, Viper, right? It was Viper.
Yeah. Sorry, let's unpack that actually, because this is a really important publication. If you guys don't read it, you should. So this was very big news. Obviously, we had 3 big announcements coming out of the YGG Play Summit in terms of winners of these 3 different tournaments. We had Parallel, but we also had the Vibes Asian Championship and the Might and Magic tournament. This particular one was covered by GamesBeat. It's a very well-respected publication in not Web3 gaming, but traditional gaming. And the guy who runs this publication is Dean Takahashi. He's arguably the most respected Web3 gaming journalist and gaming journalist on the planet. So to see him actually cover this kind of news coming out of the YGG Play Summit in Manila is legendary. Like, it literally elevates our tournament to super global level. We're so happy to see it. And Dean has been a long time supporter of Gabby and everything that he does. So we're so grateful for that kind of coverage.
Yeah, these are not, small checks go into the winners. So it pays to be a pro player, right? Like that, there's no doubt about it. The people that are participating in these tournaments are very much esport pros, and to get some love from the traditional space, I guess we're doing something right.
Doing a lot of things right. And also just shout out to the YGG Filipinas team, because I think what you're referring to there is the great photo that actually accompanied that article, like capturing those kind of moments. There's a lot of work that goes into that, like the setup of the stage, the way that the event looks, the photographers who are there to be able to just snap that exact moment. And then we get a photo like that accompanies a story like that. It's magic. But, there's a lot of work and a lot of amazing people behind the scenes that make that happen.
Yeah, shout out to all the volunteers and everybody that was helping out. Kuya is here. I'll just pull. Oh, is that working? There we go. I'm just pulling this up here. I don't think these are all volunteers. Maybe they are. But, shout outs to everybody, even if you just showed up to participate in all the events as well. Like, we couldn't put these events on without the volunteers, but we also couldn't put the events on if people don't show up. So it's It's full circle.
Such a good photo. I love that.
Yeah, shout out to Kuya again for dropping that. Kuya is the G. So we are on to the Ask Us Anything section. I'm going to bring up all of our team back on stage, and we are going to open the floor to everybody in chat, whether you're in Discord, in YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever you are. If you want to drop a question, drop it in whatever channel you are in, and we will have our wonderful mods, as well as myself, try and pick out any of your questions, whether that's, you want something answered about any of the previous Q4 info, or maybe a little bit of updates for the immediate Q1. But in the meantime, I will pass it over just back to you, Gabby, for a little bit of general updates, maybe on what people can expect for Q1, not only with YGG Play, but YGG in general. And maybe just sprinkle in a little bit about what you're seeing with the market, because I do think that has a lot of people on edge. And as always, you are our expert. You have your heartbeat, your finger on the pulse when it comes to all this stuff. You're talking to all the founders. So yeah, just let us know, Gabby, what you're thinking right now.
Yeah, definitely the market is not doing well. Everyone can see that. And of course, that means less people are online, less people are doing things on chain. This is something we've seen before in previous bear markets. And this is when strong communities are really formed. So for people who are still here attending the AMA, playing our YGG Play games, thank you. Thank you for being here. This is really what forms strong communities. And again, this is crypto. The prices go up, prices go down, and it's a cycle. So you have to not put everything in it, and make sure that you leave some for yourself and your family, so that you're not too affected by these markets. We're still building. Actually, from a product perspective, we've never been better.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's also good.
YGG platform is. Oh yeah, there's lots going on with the YGG Play platform. As you can see, we're just finishing up on the Chad contribution period leading to token launch. We just launched a new game, Waifu Sweeper. We're doing an event next week in Hong Kong for Consensus, where we'll be showing off this game. So we'll do the only thing we know how to do is to just continuously build.
Yeah, and I was going to note there that, it's not just the crypto market that's taking a dip. Every market, whether it's stocks, real estate, like it's just a tough time for every market. So it's not just cryptocurrency. Everything is having a hard time here in general. So guys, I am looking for questions, and I'm not seeing questions, just actually a lot of optimism in our chat, which is a good thing. I always like to say, if there's no questions, we're doing our job right. So it seems like we are doing our job right. I will open the floor to first, you, Leia. Any closing thoughts before we hop off here until our next AMA at the end of Q1, Q2?
Apologies, I was just sharing links with you so that you could share them in the chat. I was trying to share everyone like a really cool media things so everyone could read and help us share and amplify, but I got a timeout. So I've been, I've been slapped down. I'm not able to talk to anyone in the AMA discussion chat. Apologies for that. Final thoughts. Look, I mentioned before the power of IRL events. This was something that came up in the chat with Yellow Panther and Icy and Gabby when I was lucky enough to moderate it on stage for the live recording of Lowland at YGG Play Summit. Yellow Panther was sort of talking about like the importance of actually showing up at these IRL events, and the feeling of community, the ability to be able to establish relationships and kind of build rapport. And I'm really looking forward to Consensus Hong Kong next week, because just to put that into perspective for everyone, Gabby's going to be speaking again. He spoke last year as well, but last year was the first year that they'd ever done CoinDesk's Consensus in Asia. That's always been a historically US event. So to actually like bring it to Asia was very symbolic. and very important. And they weren't really sure whether it was going to go well or not, because they're kind of going right up against Token 2049, which is clearly the hallmark event. But it was very successful, and they're bringing it back. This year, I wasn't sure how it was going to go because, as everyone's mentioned, like things aren't necessarily super great in crypto or even across the board, as you mentioned, Fallen. I wasn't sure if people were going to show up, but when I'm having these conversations, whether it's on Telegram or crypto Twitter, it's actually going to be really well attended, and that makes me super bullish. I feel like it's these events that remind us that the community is still there. Nothing's changed. The motivation is all the same. We just continue building and focus on the ultimate goal, which is mass adoption, which we're actually seeing right now through things like stable coins. Like maybe that's the massive unlock for things like Web3 apps. I guess that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, overall, I'm feeling super positive. I think 2026 is going to be a great year despite the challenges that are right in front of us right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Leia. Andy, do you have any words as a Treasury guy and stuff like that? Do you have any maybe more insight on the market or anything else like that? Do you want to just shout out before we wrap up?
I honestly don't have too much to add. I think Leia, Gabby has said it best. This is been 4 years now since I've been at YGG. So yeah, I guess that makes this around 16 quarterly updates, and look forward to the next one.
Perfect. Thank you, Andy. Leia, I've just been told by Corp City that you should be good to post now.
Oh, wow. I got special privileges?
Yes, you've got special privileges. I was going to pivot over to Sam. And Sam, we do actually have a question that you might be able to answer. I'm going to butcher this name. Masfan Sabi 7. He wants to know, are we going to be seeing lots more future of work quests in the coming quarters?
Yeah. I forgot to mention earlier, but future of work is one of the things that we'll continue to have content on. I think versus like the more general community questing, which is focused on games. For future of work, we have a lot of partners that continue to come back to the YGG community and create campaigns with us. So we'll be seeing more of that. And over the next few months, I guess like everyone's also going to see a lot of synergies between Metaversity and future of work. So those two programs are going to be very closely tied together.
Excellent. Anything else that you want to just share with the general community as somebody that is, so ingrained in the community core team?
Yeah, of course. I think, how like we had so many featured games before during the gap days, and we kind of slowed down since then. I think this year it's time to pick back up on where we left off, like sometime last year. Just expect more games, more projects in general, not just limited to games, but more activities to do on the community questing side. Because for the past few months, we've just been, we were preparing for like sunsetting Gap and transitioning everything over to community questing. This year is where we ramp it up and just push and push more and more content with the help and support of YGGPH.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a transition period, right? We've been focused on making sure YGG plays in a really good place with a really good footing. I think we can all agree that the footing is there and established now, which means we can kind of get a little bit back to, well, at least our team specifically can get back to focusing there. We also had the transition to Harbor. I think we've worked out most of the kinks with that too. So 2026 is going to be where we can finally push a lot of stuff, whether that's community quests, creator quests, all of those great things. So yes, very, very.
Yeah, everybody in the community kind of noticed that, in all of the campaigns we've been pushing recently, we played around with a bunch of different formats. So I think moving forward, we'll apply all the learnings, all the feedback that we got from everybody during that time and apply it moving forward. And since it's going to be operated by YGGPH, like we'll have like more people just working together to make sure all of the programs and the questing campaigns we push work. Because Global is still going to continue to support it, but PH is going to lead operations around it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, we're gonna, Gabby, I'm gonna save you, Big Honcho, for the end, for the wrap up. But Makiko, I wanted to pass it to you for closing thoughts, but I also maybe want you to shout out some of the research that we've been doing with the surveys and everything, because I think those have been going pretty swimmingly. But do you want to maybe just update the community on why we're doing that research and what it's going to be helping us with?
Absolutely. Thanks so much for that shout out. So, we've been doing that research just to make sure that we are hearing directly from you how the experiences that we're delivering on this platform are being received. So, whether that be new features, for example, the points boost feature, which you can see now, that was just released last week, or new games and quests, anything that we launch new, we just want to make sure that we're hearing that feedback from you. I know there are lots of different feedback mechanisms. We have the customer service chat. It's that bottom right little floating button powered by Intercom. You can have direct conversations in Discord, but we just, again, want to make sure we're building this with you. In our last survey, we did see some really great signal around appetite and interest from you all around tournaments and leaderboards that would be cross game. I can't share too much more about what we might be cooking up there, but just want you all to know that that feedback is really important to us, and we're putting that into our product roadmap for what we're going to be building next. So you should be seeing quarter over quarter a direct output of what you're sharing with us and then what we're building next. Thanks so much.
It's always great to see you slide into the Slack there saying we've got another survey with a little bit of rewards too. Who doesn't like rewards? But again, we really value high level feedback from the community. So guys, be on the lookout for those surveys, because this is our second or third one that you've put out.
Yeah, so this is our second one. We just closed this survey a few days ago, but in next week, we'll be launching the one-on-one feedback sessions. So every quarter, we'll be doing both. The survey, of course, is probably a little bit easier to complete. Those usually take about 10 minutes of your time, and you would be entered into a raffle to get a reward. If you're selected for a one-on-one feedback session, usually those run about half an hour, and you'd be chatting with one of us on our team, either myself or somebody else on the product and the design team, and that would be run over a video chat, and everyone who participates in one of those one-on-one sessions would be given a reward as well.
Excellent. Yeah, well, you guys be on the lookout. Like Makiko said, we usually do at least one per quarter, maybe some more, but you'll always see it first in the Discord there. If you're wary of the links, you can always double check. We know you guys are very good at double checking. I think we've actually had a few scares here where the links were actually legitimate, but we wanted to be so extra sure we triple screen them. So I'm just gonna post this up there, but stay safe out there, guys. It's always better to triple check, quadruple check that links are safe, and you can always ask us to do the same by dropping it in our scams channel in Discord. So stay safe. But before we wrap up, it's head honcho Gabby. What are some closing remarks from you on what we can expect for the next quarter, and maybe optimism for the next year for 2026?
Yeah, something I want to repeat is that we've never been better from a product perspective. This time last year, we didn't have Lowland, we didn't have Giga Chadbat, we didn't have YGG Play. So we built something incredible over just the last 7 months or so that I think can take us through the bear market. We always say, together we play," so that's what we're gonna do.
It's still our slogan. I don't think we're going to change that anytime soon. It fits so perfectly. But yes, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you to all of our core team here for also updating us. As always, you can reach us in our Discord, or you can reach us on the YGG Play website. As Makiko said, we do have a fleshed out ticketing system there as well. But until next time, for our next quarterly update, we will see you in the metaverse. Together we play, guys.